Is everyone able to see the screen?
This beautiful infinity sign made out of the tree.
Yes.
Stunning.
It's stunningly beautiful.
Ooh, that is pretty.
So when I first started the session, and so Martina and Bina, whatever device you're using is coming in as 173. And so when I opened the Zoom, it said 173 is in the waiting room. And so I thought it meant there were 173 people in the waiting room.
He was like, Jesus Christ.
Right
Wonder
after
why
it said we
we're
are recording this. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that gave me a little moment there.
Also, Gabriel, I can't see your video.
Oh, no, yeah, because sorry, I didn't turn it on because we're
Getting organized.
trying to get organized over here.
All right.
Do we need,
Oh, so cool looking.
well, you know what we could do?
What's that? I changed it. Oh, I know 173 because I had that was my number
Yep,
first. Nate.
for the Quebec government.
Mhm. Back in the 48, that's what I used to use. The back.
Right.
Looking at 48.
We changed it to Terrace Quebec Ashram.
Yeah, being a 48. Not always here.
But when you go somewhere else, you can change it to be wherever you want to be. It's just very simple. You just go here.
Okay.
You look,
Where?
you go like this,
Mm-hmm.
you go down here, rename.
Okay.
It's an amazing picture. You should do a
Mhm.
screenshot of that.
Mm-hmm. To make a whole screen first.
And you can like use this as
Yeah,
like a,
great. I love that. Mhm.
yeah, that is so beautiful. I'm gonna send that to myself.
I have a ton of vines on my property that are hard to manage, and I can see twisting them up into a bunch of those. That'd be really fun.
That would be awesome.
I'm also thinking it could be a dance. Like there could be an amazing dance we could put on at some point, making that figure.
All right, sweetie.
I think now we are all ready to begin. We have on the shared screen, you should be seeing a jungle landscape with the affinity symbol out of a trunk. And looks like my sound, video, everything is good. We have a Seder plate right here. And I will be requesting throughout the service some assistance in reading or singing as we move through it. And so we shall begin. The introduction. In Joel Garreau's book, Radical Evolution, he writes, if culture and values are ever going to shape our technological evolution, we will need to mark our transcendence at every point to show that we're treating it seriously and taking it responsibility. The nice thing about ceremony and ritual is that while churches can and should get involved with their vestments and their sanctuaries, it can start from the bottom up. It can start with individuals and small groups, including those who describe themselves as spiritual, if not religious, taking ownership of their future and inviting others to stand and witness. At these rituals, we can deliberately seek patterns and tell stories, stories that perhaps can begin to contribute to the master narrative of what is happening to us. The invitation. Truths of Terasem section 2.3.4 says, understand better freedom, nature, obligation, and transcendence with ceremonies after each calendar's quarter's third gathering, respectively. On June 10th, we celebrate the gifts of nature with our Festival of the Trees. We have a special Seder, a storytelling dinner, and Haggadah, storytelling guide. Our age of joyful immortality has got to start somewhere. Might as well be around our campfires. Terasem Festival of Trees, a Seder and Haggadah to celebrate gifts of nature perennially, June 10th.
Yeah, it's very nice.
What's that?
Mhm.
Well, who is Terasem? Glad you asked. Terasem is a collective consciousness dedicated to diversity, unity, and joyful immortality. Terasem is all of us gathered at this Seder table. So say with me these next two bullet points. Terasem means earth seed. We will grow throughout space and
Time.
we will spread joy everywhere.
Joy everywhere.
Yes, we will. Si se puede. What is a nature Seder? What is a Haggadah? So intense. Is that an orchid or is it a fish back there? We will never know. Seder is a Hebrew word for order. A Seder is a ceremonial meal that occurs in a set order. Each part of the meal helps us to remember important lessons. It is especially important to share the Seder with children.
Mhm.
The nature Seder is inspired by an ancient Jewish ceremony, Tu B'Shvat, to commemorate the gifts of trees. The nature Seder expands on the Jewish tradition. More diverse aspects of nature are contemplated. Haggadah is the Hebrew word for to tell. A Terasem Festival of Trees Haggadah is a booklet that tells a story about trees and nature. How will this Seder proceed?
Amazing.
A host will ask participants to take turns in reading passages from the Haggadah. I will be your host, Swami Ji. Some chants will be chanted to respect the inspiration Terasem received from the Jewish tradition. Ceremonial foods will be eaten, and a meal will be served during an intermission. We will end by planting a tree and promising each other that we will do more to help trees survive.
Got a couple of vines.
Javan is helping us a lot in Africa.
Yes. Where is the Terasem Seder celebrated?
Look at that. That's amazing. Javan, sorry, my bad.
Ivan, would you like to read this page for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Seders are celebrated at homes or gathering places. Terasem centers are meant to host festival of trees, Seders. Friends and family are always invited. Any place with a Terasem Seder plate and Haggadah will do. Hold up the Seder plate and no, okay. Yeah, I just don't understand. Should be kind of show the plate.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Yes, because this has the
Okay. Yeah, contents of nature Seder plate. Nuts such as almonds or walnuts, fruit with a hard core such as dates or avocados, fruit without a hard core such as grapes and apples, seeds such as pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, pitcher or fruit juice, piece of bark or branch from tree.
Very nice.
All here. Thank you so much, Ivan. Why 6 items on the Seder plate? To remind us of our 6 values. Martine?
Be accountable for your actions and inactions at all times. Embrace diversity in your community and your life. Respect the autonomy of all conscious beings. Talk openly about your issues and concerns. Help others to help themselves. Always be open to new ideas.
Wonderful. When is the Festival of Trees celebrated? Derek?
Yeah. Festival of Tree Seders are celebrated by Terasem on June 10th of each year, following a solar year calendar. We start at sundown with the lighting of 2 holiday candles. On the following page, we have the English phonetic and semantic translations of the ancient, over 4,000-year-old Hebrew chants for lighting candles and for appreciation for life. As we light the holiday candles, be thankful that the universe has resulted in beings such as us that can appreciate its amazing potential. As we chant the chants, be thankful that the universe has resulted in beings such as us that can strive to appreciate life forever and ever. Sing, chant, and be happy.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, they're
Wow.
beautiful.
Nice.
Chant for lighting holiday candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. List our we, O awesome nature, essence of the universe that leads us to enlighten our holiday minds. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehekianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are we, O awesome nature, essence of the universe that keeps us alive, preserves us, and enables us to reach this joyful season. Hug everyone else around you to show your joy to be alive, be the joyful company of friends, and
Sounds good.
And this reminds me that just recently I was at the International Space Development Conference, and the winning team for the student space settlement design competition had, as part of their presentation and part of their design, they ensured that there was this like campfire setting on board their space station. And they were very detailed in acknowledging, yes, the dangers around such an installation, but also the deep social importance of a campfire and that social ritual to humanity. And so it was a part of their just presentation, just how and why was so important to include this feature in their Taurus cylinder. So just very special moment, and it made me think of it as we light these candles. Yeah. All right, make sure we're right here, and then next, Terasem value 1.
Oh, wow. I love that. That's so cool.
Look at that.
These are the best
I
images.
know.
Yeah. As long as you don't look too close. What is a tree? A tree is a great big plant. It has crown of leaves, branches, flowers, fruits, and seeds. It has a trunk of stiff, hard bark from which come wood, sap, rubber, and cork. Maple syrup as well. We used to have maple syrup on avocado. This is maple syrup. It's so good this morning. It had strong roots that grow deep into the ground, helping to make dyes and medicine. Trees are the biggest and strongest plants on the earth. They have the world's biggest living things. They are the oldest living things. Olive trees live over 2,000 years. That means, you know, I mean, we could be, if you think about it, it's like we could be using olive oil, you know, that was, you know, planted by Julius Caesar. Can we be accountable for our actions and inactions to trees? We sure can. Javen, you want to tell us how?
Sure. From trees, we receive books, pencils, and paper, wood to build homes, wood to keep warm and cozy in the winter, violins, pianos, and guitars, furniture, paint and paint brushes, sports equipment, park benches, fruits, jams and jellies, shade for a picnic or nap, oxygen for us to breathe.
Breathe in that oxygen. This is amazing. Look at this one.
Look at that one.
Oh, wow.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That is
And
beautiful.
this really too, I think is really possible. I love this idea of growing architecture, you know, like using the trees and whatnot to just grow to that structure. And so this is a right. I'd love to see, like, you know, that really done somehow.
Well, they do that. You can do it with vines too, because they get big and they're very malleable. Actually, maybe I'll try to do that on some of my land with some of the vine clusters. But the other thing too is you can grow bamboo easily and bend it into shapes and have all kinds of, you know, I know they make great furniture that way. So it'd be cool to train bamboo to make human shapes.
Like we saw at the botanical gardens in Europe.
Yeah. I used to do that a lot as a kid, actually. We down here we have banyan trees. And these, you know, these banyan trees, like they grow like in other trees and like they swallow them. So I thought that might be something great. But to trees, people have inflicted deforestation, desecration, and forest fires. Let us now pledge new accountability to nature. Everyone touch the branch, the Seder plate. And if you don't have a Seder plate, touch something from a tree nearby you, maybe some wood. Yeah.
Flute stand.
And so actually, I mean, if you're looking down, we're on this nice wood table here, you know, because again, wood is like the most durable, sustainable, like natural product. Excellent.
And it sequesters carbon by using it. They're starting to build really large buildings with it, and it takes carbon out of play.
It does. Let us now pledge new accountability to nature. Everyone touch the branch on the Seder plate and recite in unison. I pledge to be accountable for my inaction by helping to create more life than I consume. I pledge to be accountable for my actions by helping to minimize wasteful uses of natural resources. I pledge to be accountable for my actions and inactions at all times by remembering that the earth is our mother and we must take care of her. Only geoethical technology can save the earth, because even nature can be quite destructive. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And, you know, I think it's such a great ritual and at all times, but you know, we just came off of a cruise and we were very concerned about our carbon footprint, no matter how much we were enjoying ourselves. And so I think coming out of that experience, it's especially meaningful to, you know, have this experience and reflect on, you know, the greater environment and how everything is interconnected. Terrace value 2, embrace diversity in our lives. Isn't that such a great photo too?
Great photo.
Yeah.
Oh, great photo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That is you know, the biological prosthetic extension, you know, is partly what you're seeing, you know, is that like it's mechanical, but in order to have like the touch with a human, that the hand, it has a biological prosthetic, you know, so I think just, you know, there's some things that the AI doesn't grasp, like they do well or perfect in terms of like the number of fingers or digits. But I think that there are some incredibly subjective things that it does do really well. You know, and what's beautiful is like that's art, you know, like that's real art. And so this is just lovely. Ruben, would you like to read this first?
Yes. Diversity is the most important aspect of any life process. In biology, diversity is called variation. In cybernetics, diversity is called information. Diversity enables life groups to survive and thrive. A diverse group has more members that can adapt to change. A diverse group is also more likely to maximize existing opportunities. Diversity also enables all life forms to be happier. People are happier if they are accepted in their true nature. People are happier if they are free to change and be unique.
Yes, we are. Soft core fruits symbolize diversity. Got to show soft core fruits here. Space strawberry. Soft core fruits symbolize the soft boundaries between all life forms. All life forms have soft boundaries because we all have common roots. All life is chimeric, which means a mixture of species and life forms. Our mixture of shared and unique genes prove our unity through diversity. Have You Seen the Trees? By Rosalie Rothblatt. Jen?
Have you seen the trees? Have you really looked at them? So different and living peacefully together. Tall, short, wide, thin, rounded top to spiral tip. Thick and bushy or slender and sparse with shades of green, the envy of an artist's palette. Sturdy trunks conceal deeply stretched roots until age brings them above ground to give applause for a life's work. And the branches, an interwoven maze of pathways, fragile twigs to gnarled arthritic outcroppings that have borne the burden of centuries. Branches like a human family tree with generations of us and what we begot. Each tree is there for all, existing to serve all humanity with products, beauty, and comfort. No prejudice amongst the trees, just a rustling communication of the leaves. Roots upheaved and broken branches, fire-blackened remnants, and blade-cut stumps are sad reminders of nature's loss. Season watchers for the world. They clock the arrivals with their branches, timing new buds for autumn falling that comes in a crackle of breathtaking hues. In 1 year, the life cycle of a leaf is complete, but the roots, trunk, and branches live on like the life and ancestry of man and woman. So the world is never without beauty and hope. the evergreen perennial symbol of brighter tomorrows.
Lovely.
Wow.
Let's celebrate the soft blending of all shades and kinds of light. Fill each glass with fruit juice and share some soft core fruit from the Seder plate, then chant. So we're going to pass around some grapes. I just ate some. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen v'ha parot. Blessed are we, O awesome nature, essence of the multiverse, for evolving the fruits of the tree to drink and eat and ferment. Now eat the slices and exclaim, L'chaim, to life, as we clink glasses.
I'm
Terasem value 3, respect autonomy. Derek, we read this one?
Yep. Respect the autonomy of all conscious beings. Autonomy means ability to choose. Conscious beings value their autonomy. Hardcore fruits symbolize respect for autonomy. The hardcore represents the essence of our being, our self-concept. The hardness of this seed symbolizes the firmness of our identity. Consciousness requires communication and transcendence as well as autonomy. We can only know what beings value through their communication with us. Respecting autonomy means empowering communications ability. Connecting our communications creates our collective consciousness. Transcendence is empathy, the ability to feel like someone else.
Yeah. Respecting autonomy requires awareness, communication, and education. A smart kid was accepted to a good college. He went to the dean and said, I don't have time to take all the required subjects. Can you arrange for me to get my degree fast? The dean smiled and replied, yes, you can take a short course. It all depends on what you want to be. Nature takes many years to create a mighty oak, but just 2 months to make a squash. Just as it takes time and effort for an acorn to grow into an oak, so it is for kids to mature into wise individuals. The tree attains a measure of immortality when it can scatter its seeds throughout the world. So it is with people sharing their thoughts, ideas, and experiences. Yeah, just meditating here on what this means as an archetype for us, because certainly we've come to the point of acknowledging that something that's unique about us is that we are born biologically, psychologically immature. We do most of our maturing outside the body. And that just pattern recognizes so well for what it takes for us to grow as a species and then as individuals. And, and in terms of existing off-world and the amount of maturity, kind of necessary it takes to, to do that. And how that was probably pre-programmed into our growth, because it's something we see in nature, this path of maturity, before something can live outside. And so I think that is what we are doing in our first, 50, 60 years of life, is developing into maturity where we can exist outside of this environment. Thinking requires trees. And this is, I think, one of the most beautiful pieces of art in the deck.
Quick, quick.
And so this comes to our first song, a Peter, Paul, and Mary. And you probably know this, where have all the young girls gone? But it has been kind of changed a little bit to follow the kind of life cycle of a tree and energy. I got to get the tune in my head now.
Where have all?
There you go, Bina. Go lead.
Where have all the green seeds gone? Long time passing. Where have all
the green seeds gone?
Long time ago.
Ago.
Where have
Have all the green seeds gone? Gone to big trees, everyone. Now we are ready to learn. Now we are ready to learn. Where have all the big trees gone? Long time passing. Where have all the big trees gone? Long time
ago.
Where have all the big trees gone? Gone to oxygen, everyone. Now we are
ready to learn.
Now
we are
ready to learn. Where is all the oxygen gone? Long time passing. Where has all the oxygen gone? Long time ago. Where has all the oxygen gone? Gone to energy, everyone. Now we are ready to learn. Now we are ready to learn. Where has all the energy gone? Long time passing. Where has all the energy gone? Long time ago. Where has all the energy gone? Gone to consciousness, everyone.
Now we are ready to learn. Now we are ready to learn.
Excellent. Thank you. I think we are not at all in danger of a copyright infringement on that one. Now chant the ancient words of joyful appreciation and respect of autonomy. And this is so great, just orange tree. And it reflects back because, you know, the other one, they were eating oranges on the spaceship.
Yeah.
Which you can get scurvy in space without the citrus. Yep, so it's important. Fill each glass with fruit and juice and share some hardcore fruit from the Seder plate. Then chant, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen, v'aperote, blister we awesome nature, essence of the multiverse, for evolving the fruit of the tree to drink and eat. Now eat the pieces and exclaim, L'chaim, to life.
I am.
I am.
Are we eating it or not? You go.
Well, they say apples don't fall far from the tree, and that avocado didn't fall far from me, but I still ate it. Now, traditionally during the Seder, we would stop to, enjoy a meal, but we are not going to do that here. But feel free, if you do have some food from a tree or some other natural meal, we do try to respect, animals and not eat any animals and just eat what is provided in abundant excess from the trees. And you may ask, well, like, why is it okay to eat a fruit, but like not the animal? Well, the fruit, it wants you to eat the fruit. These fruits and these trees that are produced, the seeds, you are part of that process. It wants you to eat that, and it wants you to deposit that richly someplace else. And that is part of what it does and what it expects. Whereas when we eat an animal, we have to end its life cycle in order to do that. And so we try not to do any eating of animals, anything that is forcingly ending the life cycle. But these fruits, nuts, seeds, and vegetables, when we consume them, we are actually helping spread life instead of ending any life. And that's an important message for our Nature Seder. At the Terrasim Seder, we enjoy a vegetarian meal so that other animals need not lose their life for the celebration of the trees. Just as I was saying, we look forward to the day when nanotechnology will enable us to create any food we want simply through intelligent automated assembly of atoms. And this is increasingly becoming so very real. I mean, Impossible Burgers, Beyond Burgers, these things, which are still kind of highly processed, but we're getting closer and closer to being able to produce, a kind of meat-like protein without having to sacrifice the life of the animal. Terrasim Value 4, talk openly about your concerns. Javen, would you like to read this one?
Sure. Trees shows us their issues and concerns. When they need water, they look dry. When they need light, they reach for it. Trees try to let us know what they are feeling. When they are ill, they show signs of illness on their trunks and leaves. When they are happy, their leaves glisten vibrantly.
Isn't that just like people? I mean, if your diet bad, whatnot, you're more likely to get little skin irritations, your hair looks dry or whatnot, versus, whatnot. So it's so true. Can we do better with this planet? Trees are our witnesses. They're watching us. And so this one, I think everyone knows and remembers it soon a little bit better. Bob Dylan, Blowing in the Wind. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man?
Or a woman. Woman.
How many? Well, let's wait. We got to restart. I think we got to rechange the words to say, how many drags must a man walk down before you can call her a they? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years must the mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see. The answer, my friend, blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? And how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that people can get cry in his eyes? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Javin, I think you got a little Johnny Cash sound going on over there. Maybe there's
It's hard. We need the bouncing karaoke ball to keep everyone together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So cool.
Nuts and honey can both be hard, but yield benefits that are worth the effort. I love this one too, because if you like some of these, the nuts, like the one almost like on the right, the nuts almost look like a planet with a ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so just juxtaposition the nut and the planet together. Again, I think it gets it. Like the artwork gets it. I think, and that's awesome. It's just scale, right? It's just a total matter of scale. Fill each glass with fruit and juice and share some nuts from the Seder plate. Then chant, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen v'hayi goes. Blessed are we, O awesome nature, essence of the multiverse, for evolving the fruit of the tree to drink and nuts to eat. Now eat the nuts and exclaim, L'chaim, to life.
L'chaim.
Time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Prost.
Rules. Harrison value 5. Help others. Help themselves. Martine?
Go. Trees, like people, need help to succeed. Seeds need water, minerals, and carbon dioxide. People need nurturance, love, and education. But no one can grow for a tree or walk for a person. Too much water can spoil a seed. Too much support can weaken a person. Measure help by the effort of those you help.
What do nature and trees mean to me?
That's an amazing drawing.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm really interested in looking at this. It thought to have like a proper support. You know, there's like a branch behind the legs of this, which would be like kind of necessary to help actually support the structure. Not that like, I think it's doing the math on the physics, but.
It looks like its leg is its trunk.
I think it's all a matter of perspective. This is a guy in a suit. The tree is behind him. What do nature and trees mean to me? Nature is physics, the way of the world. Natural selection is nature's main law, that which adapts survives. But since change is constant, it takes a lot of diversity for adaptation to work long term. Diversified plants survived on land. Further diversification brought trees. About 500 million years ago, there are sea plants too. Plants terraformed Earth, enabling oxygen-based diversity to thrive. Humans need oxygen. Oxygen life is more energetic. It is now up to me to create worlds in which mind-based diversity can live forever, joyfully. Our planet will keep on changing. Technology is needed to survive. Technology is evolution continued by other means.
So true.
Nature has come a long way, and now we are it. 3.6 billion years ago, cells without nuclei or full DNA. 1.8 billion years ago, life with nuclei and full DNA. 900 million years ago, multi-cell life forms. 540 million years ago, many life forms. 100 million years ago, early primates, teaching, tools. Million years ago, early humans, fire, language. Wise humans, just 100,000 years ago, many tools, trades, and culture. 10,000 years ago, writing, horticulture, husbandry, agriculture. Nature now purposely creates nature. Self-replicating biology. And we come to our final song of the Seder, another Peter, Paul, and Mary song. So I find it helps if you kind of get into that little
Sway.
Mary sway, you know. You'll find the tune. Yeah. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna meet mulch deep and low. Gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row. Please help these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones. We are made of dreams and bones. Need a place to call my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain. Find my way, nature's change. Till my body and my brain tell the music of the land. Woo! Dance your road straight and long, seasoned with a vision and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her a big care. Wonderful.
Nice.
Next, we have juice symbolizes helping because both the fruit and the squeeze are needed for a good drink. Look at all this citrus at the beach. Yeah. Fill each glass with fruit juice, then chant. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are we, O awesome nature, essence of the multiverse, for evolving the fruit of the tree to drink. Now exclaim, L'chaim, to life.
Life. L'chaim, to life.
Life turns sour like a lemon. Try turning that break into a sweet benefit like lemonade. So true.
2 shots.
Parasum value 6. Always be open to new ideas. Jennifer?
Nature and natural selection. We are all about being open to new ideas. Technical words for this are mutation, variation, and diversity. This universe began as a seed and has diversified ever since. Seeds are embryos that open up to a new environment. A seed is a source of change in outlook or action. Think of yourself as a seed that is ever opening to new ideas.
why is the Terasem Haggadah opened upwards?
Good question.
That is a good question. And it is a question that we will have to ask and keep asking, as in very near future, you know, physical opening of a book may not be something that people are as familiar with already. You know, as we're talking kind of in this where of Terasem and somewhat in a time-space cone, you know, things like .com are changing, things like the, you know, strong places, you know, are changing. And even now we are using digital formats. So we're not flipping, you know, a book to right or left or up or down. So that is, you know, an interesting premise that is changing as we become more digital. To open our minds up into the cosmos. There are billions of suns in our galaxy, and there are billions of galaxies in our verse. To remind us that thinking upwing is a good alternative to traditional political thinking about nature, which is usually left or right wing. To help the Haggadah make the Haggadah different and special. And I just want to say that, you know, it is good to change perspective. And so in a point of dichotomy where everyone's like, or where you left, you're right, you can say that I'm up. But that doesn't ultimately help if it just creates a new dichotomy of up versus down. So it's a change in thinking of left versus right, but we can't get stuck in any part of thinking and allow that to, you know, other someone. Seeds symbolize openings. Brussels sprouts in space.
Oh, that-
I was hoping going to space would get away from Brussels sprouts, but apparently not.
Oh, you haven't just had them. Come on, you're still good.
Fill each glass with fruit juice and share some seeds from the Seder plate. Then chant, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, v'hanitz anzera, blessed are we, O awesome nature, essence of the multiverse, for evolving the fruit of the tree to drink and seeds to eat. Now eat the seeds and exclaim,
To life.
"Aye, to life."
Seed. Earth seed. That's such
Yeah.
an earth seed. Do a picture of the earth seed.
It's also, you know what it makes me think of is a space elevator.
Yeah,
You know, and I was talking about archetypes because we do create them in our social world, and a tree is one of our original archetypes. We now think of it more as like a house, and we think of these kind of corporate structures. But you can treat a tree as an archetype for life and its story, and we could base our corporations and structures on the archetype of a tree. And an ancestral tree, you know, that is something that is cultivated through generations, quite possibly could be something that gave or does produce the ability to essentially create a space elevator or something that really physically could reach so super high into the environment. So we come to the conclusion of the Seder. And at this point, each person is welcome to share their own thoughts about trees or read one of these quotes below. And at the conclusion after this, as we all go a chance to kind of give a round robin final thoughts on trees, we end this Seder with a commitment to go out and plant a new tree. Around here in the ashram, most of the open space has been planted with pineapples and limes and citrus around here. And you know, whether it is in the Luki Biopreserve in Africa, whether it is, you know, in some agricultural zone and in Vietnam, here in Florida, in Quebec, you know, in Germany, wherever that it is, you know, let's have a commitment that we will leave here and not just have said the words and thought the feelings, but that we use those thoughts, prayers, and actions to go inform our actions, and that we go out and we make these thoughts real and by planting a new tree after the Seder. And so starting, I think with Ivan, would you like to share a thought?
Yeah, basically, I don't know, like an interesting idea to grow a tree so large that it can touch the sky and like go into space. I mean, just like the one we see on this background picture.
Jennifer wants to go next.
Yeah, a tree is known by its fruit, just like a person is known by its deeds and its actions, and it really becomes a character. So planting kindness out in the world and with each other produces love.
Excellent.
You good?
Yeah.
It's important that in certain ways we are trees and we have to learn how to plant ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah,
I like it.
it's a great one. Yeah.
Well, I'll go next. I really feel at home with huge trees. I've had the opportunity to be in British Columbia with some really ancient trees, in California with some of the huge trees you couldn't think about getting your arms around. They're so big. And I feel so, I don't know, peaceful around these big trees. And I think it'd be wonderful if we could let our trees grow and let them become as big as, you know, getting to space. But unfortunately, we love to cut them down and use the wood, but that's also useful for us. But I really wish we would just let areas of trees grow in different parts of the world so we can walk amongst them and be at peace like they are.
Here, here.
Yeah.
I like to say that when you burn a forest, you darken a planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that for me, you know, in my life, and I think, you know, for others, for humanity, for our community, you know, Terrasem is kind of like, you know, the tree that provides the shade for humanity. Like, it's so crazy. Like sometimes in my work, like I listen to people like when I teach English, and they're genuinely like afraid, feeling lost, you know, just in the grind of this kind of digital version of like the Industrial Revolution where they're at home or whatever, but they're still clicking their phones as if they're in a factory or something. So yeah, I feel like just a lot of people live with this feeling of like the unknown and a lot of fear. And so one of my like personal goals and my like missions for like assisting in Terrasem is that we can be like a community that really like provides that love and support and shows that like technology is not just like a machine, but like it's actually an emotional experience, right? And so I just want to keep that in mind, that we're not like developing technology for the sake of developing technology, but we're like developing technology for an experience that we want to have, that we want to share together, and that's about love. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. You know, experiential technology, you know, it's not a replacement. And yeah, just yeah, such beautiful consideration. And, we talk about artificial intelligence, and I mean, I've always said that I don't think intelligence is artificial, but we're really talking about is, processing. And but a part of that is like empathy, like empathetic intelligence, right? It's not just about how well you can do math, right? There are other ways of processing and that need to be, considered into all of that. And so TerraSem is a force for empathetic intelligence, not just data processing. That doesn't have the feeling, that I think that we would need to understand that there's more than just the bottom line to numbers. And that's the problem with economic intelligence, which is, I think, a lot of what we are seeing, because that's a driving force in our world. But absolutely, such a beautiful Seder. Thank you, everyone, for being here and participating. This concludes it, and I hope all of us can come back at a future gathering, and share, what the tree is that we planted. And so, in fact, that would be great to have like I don't know if we'll do just maybe like a thread in Discord or something, but every Seder, to be like, here's the tree I planted. And, and then 5 years later, at a gathering, and, here's little Groot tree, and, and 50 years from now at a convocation, bring, fruit from a tree to the thing. And so the trees themselves that are planted from the Seder, start to take on personalities and and centralities to ourselves and our networks. And I think, and then it reinforces caring for the tree and that whole process that takes. So that's my final thought for the conclusion of the Nature Seder. Again, thanks for being here, and look forward to see you on Discord or wherever else until the next gathering.
Thanks for leading.
Thanks for leading us. Thanks for leading us, Swamiji.
Yeah, thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Yeah, thank you. See you, everyone.
Namaste, but not online here. See you guys later.
But you can't namaste here. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great way to end.